Well, Mark, this is kind of like the crunch time at the end of the season. 2 games. I mean, kind of from your own point of view, what's your feeling going into these games?
We're in the position that we hope we'd be in. We're halfway there, and we would have loved to have won the championship outright and got promoted, but this is the next best path, and it's a better path and more direct path than we took the last couple of years. So we're hoping one less playoff series that we had to play in. And so came out of our first round, and halfway there, hopefully we can pull it off.
I'm not sure if you've been keeping an eye on social media over the last few hours, but hundreds of Dundee United supporters were camped out last night at the ticket office, some for 24 hours.
Yeah.
There'll be a full 1,500 going through for the second leg. Do you kind of feel that buzz, that excitement of the fans?
Oh, I was out with a lot of them on Friday night after the match, and yeah, the excitement, it was great. I'd love to see the enthusiasm of our fan base. We had great fans, and it was a lot of fun. It's unfortunate that we're not able to get more tickets to that away leg, but I guess that's just the way it works.
Do you kind of feel that at the moment it's kind of like every fan's on the side of the team? Because obviously Dundee United being in the championship, there's often a bit of discontent with fans thinking they should be higher, but
Absolutely.
now it kind of feels like it's all been put to one side and they're all kind of singing off the same hymn sheet.
They are, and we are, and hopefully we can pull it off and get up to the Premiership, and that's where I think that we'll really get some additional buy-in from the fans.
And in terms of, if I can ask from like a recruitment point of view, I mean, are you currently working with Robbie to see what players can come in for next season?
Yeah, Tony Ashgar is really the one that handles that with Robbie, and they kind of tell me what they're thinking, but they're the ones that really handle that.
Has he came to you with like I want X amount of money, or?
Well, we've got a budget. We've got a budget for the championship if we're in the championship next year, and budget for in the Premiership. So, how we play out, how we end up the season will determine kind of where we're going to go going forward. But either way, I mean, we're bound and determined. If we're unfortunate enough not to be promoted, we're just going to retool and we're going to go after it for next year.
Can I ask, is there much difference between those two budgets?
Yeah, there needs to be. I mean, the revenue in those are between the two of them is large. So you have to take that into consideration, and you've got to be prudent on what your budget is.
Are we talking time and a half?
Yeah, just do not comment on it, but we'll have a plan either way.
Ian Harkes has proved very successful since he's come over the Atlantic in the winter break down there. Are we likely to see more of the likes of Ian Harkes coming across because of your involvement in the club?
Yeah, and I don't think he's over here because I was over here, because timing wise, I think it was pretty close to the same time if I remember right. But we're very happy to have him. He's a great guy, and yeah, there maybe be more Ian Harkes coming over in the future. We'll have to wait and see.
You're 5 months into your tenure as the Premier of Dundee United. How is it lived up to your sort of coming in expectations?
I'm much more nervous than I thought I would be between the matches. I was saying earlier that I don't get over here much, so I'm obviously, when I'm here, it's actually easier when I'm over here, witnessing everything. But when I'm back home, either listening on the radio or on video, it's like I'm pacing. There aren't that many games, and each one of them means so much. I'm not used to that because back in the States, the sports teams that I've been involved with, we have a lot of games, and each one doesn't necessarily mean that much. But when you get to the playoffs, it certainly does. But in this case, every league game is very, very important, has implications.
So you talked earlier when you came in about making the fans sort of experience of football when they come to see Dundee United different. How is that going to plan?
Yeah, well, it's still early. I mean, one of the things that the whole experience of a match, I mean, if you were there on Friday night, Friday night, I mean, that place was electric, and I'm hoping that the fans love that experience. And I heard from a lot of fans when I was talking to them, they haven't seen that kind of atmosphere in years at Tannadice. So, we're hoping to continue to feed off of that, and then just look for other ways to maybe enhance the fan experience.
when you see the 3 stands full at Tannadice, you mentioned the electric atmosphere, it was fantastic. That shows you the potential that's there with the support. It just sort of underlines why you've got involved with Dundee United.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a little disappointing in the middle of the year, or actually not too many matches ago. We just weren't getting the fans coming out in the numbers that we would have expected, because we were still having a good year. I mean, we were in second place, and sure we would have liked to have won it outright, but we considered it still be a successful year. But the fans were holding back a little bit, but now they're coming out in droves, and we appreciate that. We really appreciate the support. We need it, and the players. I mean, they've told me, they've told you guys how important that is, to them, and they get a lot of inspiration from that. So it's awesome.